Hey there fellow pirates, it's Angry Turtle and today I have another video for Starfield. This time around it's a guide for space combat, and I want to use this opportunity as well to show you this amazing Borg cube that I was working on. I think it ended up quite well. I discovered a couple more things in regards to building. One thing I would like to tell you, there is a limit to how many objects can be placed in total, how many elements the starship can have. So this is the biggest. There is absolutely no way to put any more, but it works. It is a Borg cube that actually works. This is an amazing Borg cube and it works. Nice, dark with green elements like a real Borg and can kill stuff. I will show you how it looks like inside, how I build it at the end. But now back to the combat tips. So first, I will just go very briefly around the weapons, as I do plan to make a dedicated video talking about all weapon systems available in Starfield. That's a big topic and there are some problems with some of those weapons, so I will go in depth in separate guides. But what I recommend now, if you want to use weapons, just try to use auto beam weapons. Those are the weapons with high fire rate, equal damage to hull and shield, and high range of 3000. Sometimes you can find 3500. Now, you probably cannot, you for sure cannot equip one and the same weapon on all 3 slots. That's unfortunate. Game will not let you. So as you can see, I have all of those weapons are auto, neutron, electron, basically auto beam weapons. All of those auto beam. That will be in common in the name. It will be auto beam. So you want either 3 auto beam weapons, or if you cannot get 3 auto beam weapons, one of these slots you just replace with something you like more. It can be missile, they're quite effective. Just avoid lasers and ballistic. Those are quite useless and a waste of a slot. Make sure as well whatever you are equipping, it's not a continuous fire weapon, because then it will require full power to the bar in order to use it effectively, while when it's not like that, when it's a weapon that needs to reload, you don't need to do that. For example, I'm flying this Borg now, and as you can notice, I have just average amount of power to each weapon subsystem. It's not maxed, but when I'm firing with full damage. That's a full damage output from all weapons. Then when I stop firing, those are all reloading. The speed of the reload is determined by how much power you put into those subsystems. So you do not lose anything in regards to the damage. Now, we cannot complete this guide at all and progress without talking about some essential perks. So under skills, we go to the right tech tree. There are some essential skills required. I have a lot of skills. Luckily, not all of them are essentials. What is essential? You probably want targeting control if you ever think about boarding and stealing enemy ship. It is necessary, as well as it helps you in combat. It makes combat way easier if you can engage in space VATS. Targeting control, basically space VATS. The first rank is required to even use it, so you need rank 1. I have only rank 2. You can upgrade that, it's not essential. Rank 1 already has you covered for the most part. The second skill is piloting. You need at least rank 1 to utilize ship thrusters. What the game will not tell you, it's not described at all. What ship thrusters, what does this even mean? Basically, you are able during combat to disable main engine and switch to thrusters. Therefore, your speed and direction will be maintained, and you can maneuver position where you are firing at. I will show you that in combat. Incredibly powerful. In my opinion, early on, the most powerful of all combat perks are those thrusters. Switching engines, switching to thrusters. Why? In a second. Then if we look at this tree, there is a lot of useful stuff that you can have, but definitely engine systems is number one, as it will increase the speed of your ship and extends your boost, so you can survive, you can escape, you can reposition yourself. This is very powerful. And again, in case of this perk, actually rank 1 is what you are looking for. This extra edge in combat, this additional 10% speed is the difference between you escaping enemies and them catching up to you. So 1 rank, very powerful. So what you need to start with, 1 rank here, 1 rank here, 1 rank here. Other stuff, as you please. Now, about the weapon, if you want to optimize your damage, as you can see, ballistic weapon, energy weapon, you should always ignore those two. Those are 2 different perks to make really bad weapons about average. Then the best for damage boost is particle beam weapon system. As you noticed, I do not have it, but I have a crew member with this perk, so my ship do benefit from particle beam weapon systems. What I have maxed out is Starship design. This perk actually is required to get end game parts for your ship. You cannot purchase parts without this perk maxed out. The best perks require it. Similar situation like piloting. You cannot pilot class C ships without piloting maxed out. And lastly, what I'm using at the end, automated weapon systems, extremely overpowered, but we'll cover automated weapon systems when I will be making second video with complete weapon breakdown, as this is quite far away perk, so it will probably take you a while to get in there, so hopefully I have time to make this video. Now for the combat tips, I think I will switch to some smaller ships so you can at least see the combat. And for this combat presentation we take my older A-class ship that I started with and did some upgrades in the past, wasn't using for quite a while, but it will be perfect as well. What you need to keep in mind, the stats like mobility and top speed, important for combat. The top speed of course determines how fast it will go total, and it's only affected by class of engine. Engine class A 150, class B 140, class C 130. The mobility, it's hard to understand at first. It's basically how fast your ship can accelerate, and it partially affects how fast you can turn. Even with mobility of 0, you will be still able to turn, but your acceleration will be like acceleration of a snail. With max out mobility or around 80, you accelerate incredibly fast. It as well affects the total speed on the boost, as you will accelerate faster, so speed on the boost will go up with mobility. So let me demonstrate all of that in combat. So I'll be making a jump to a system that I'm wanted, over 1 million bounty. I think they will be interested in our visit. Now for the combat, as you can see, they are already interested in our visit. They will be chasing us, so high speed can be used here, and it's important to make sure engines are fully powered. Powering up engines affects your maximum speed as well as acceleration. So you really don't want to run on low powered engines. It does not affect the turning speed, so if you don't want to move anywhere and just stay about stationary, you can power down engine systems to 1, and as you can see, you can still turn quite well, but speed will suffer greatly. Putting up power to engines, speed going up. We'll drag those ships a little bit farther away from this system so I don't fight entire fleet. And now, of course, the system powers you can juggle during combat, but it's quite difficult, so I do not recommend that. If you are using missile and particle beam, I would put more power for particle beams to reload faster and less power to missile, as it will still allow you to fire a full salvo of the missile with just 1 power. They will just reload forever, so after you expend all those missiles, it will take forever for them to reload. And now, as you can see, I'm taking a distance from them because I'm much faster than they are. You can regulate your speed by going up and down. You probably already figured that. If you go into this white area that I'm now with my speed, that's the maximum turning capability. So as you can see, I can turn around really fast. They're far enough, so I don't need to engage yet. If you need some repairs, it's O on keyboard, and repair kits, so stimpaks for the ship, are very heavy. 10 units of weight each, and they can repair hit points. They cannot repair subsystems. Your subsystems in combat, if they will get damaged, your crew will try to repair them, but only to the level that you currently have them powered. So don't be distressed if your grab drive is not being repaired. You will need to allocate power first, then your crew will start working on the repairs during the combat. Now, I said the thrusters are very important. Why is that? Look what I do now. I press the thrusters and turn. I turn in here and I'm going with full speed on reverse as long as I'm holding thrusters. I actually lost them, so let's go towards them a little bit. I lost my enemies and we're supposed to engage in combat. They're back. So what I want to do, and that's one of the most overpowered strategies, it's shooting them with high range weapons. So let's make sure we match the speed with the pursuit, put them on the back, you can see the distance. Now they are moving with the speed of around, I'm gaining distance, slowing down, around 100, slightly approaching. So that speed, now I press the spacebar, I turn around, and I can aim at them. I can fire now. The best way to fire is press all 3 buttons simultaneously. So then you fire all your batteries at them to burst them down. And as you can see, they are capable of dodging a lot of missiles. That's why I do not like them. When I'm firing my particle beam, they cannot dodge that. There is a lock, so I cannot miss. They cannot dodge. As long as my aim is somewhere around the lock, I will get them. Now, if you get them low, you could get closer for VATS and attempt to board them. Unfortunately, I did too much damage for this one. My weapons are too powerful. If I attempt to shoot them in VATS, I will destroy them as engines are too powerful. But I can shoot a little bit more. There's another one. So I can go after this other one, unleash all the missiles, all the weapons, and if you want to board it, make sure that you don't hit them too hard. And look at the missile. A lot of missiles can get dodged. So that's why I don't really like them. They have really good damage, but the best use case for the missile, if you want to destroy target in VATS, that's where it excels. Now, I need to get closer, so in this moment I'm releasing a spacebar and I'm boosting full speed ahead on them to then get the target lock in VATS, switch 2 engines, shoot twice, done, exit, and now I can dock. Now I just hold R to dock. Oh, I was playing with them for too long. That would happen. So what you need to do is quickly, after exiting VATS, hold R or whatever is the docking button on console. Those ships are very powerful in regards of combat, and I took a weak ship, but you were able to see how easily I put them down. I was basically flying outside of the range and firing when flying backwards. So those are the best tips for your combat. As well, if you want some practice and you want to do those challenges to unlock perks, you need to go back to the system Alpha Centauri. That's the main place of the map. Come on, zoom in please. That's where you start, where the lodge is. Jemison. And there is Vanguard. So there are all those spaces. If you go there, there is Vanguard. If you join Vanguard, you can always enter simulator, and the simulator is there for you. So Vanguard, very early if you never join Vanguard, it appears under your miscellaneous first. To join the Vanguard, you go join them. You can take use of the simulator to complete all your necessary perks. So this is, I hope, a helpful guide for you. So particle beams for the win. Then you have cannons, automated turret systems, late game even better. Messiah, decent, not the best option, but decent. And let me know if you have any questions. And now the Borg inside, if you want to see it, how the Borg works, and some other info about systems of your ships. I can open that to show you Borg on the inside. As you can see, all the elements are there, but those are hidden. So the Borg is a ship on the inside, and you can see all the weapons attached on those mounts inside, and they still can fire through all your ship structures. So you don't need to be worried that you have something obstructing your field of fire or something like that. It will fire. You don't need to worry about that. Those weapons will fire. Your own ship cannot take damage from your own weapon as well. Your own weapons cannot be blocked by your ship, as well as engine do not really need to have open area to work. They can be inside, so full freedom. Full freedom. And one thing that I figured out quite recently, some of the dockers have a flip option. So basically, not all of them, but some of them. So this is bottom docker now. I can flip it to be a top docker. So if I hold it, flip it top, bottom. I didn't know that's the thing. So the slim dockers have an option to be a bottom dockers, which makes it possible to have your docker basically next to the landing bay. So you are entering the ship always from the bottom. Less confusing. Easier for big builds like this one. I don't need to run like 10 levels down in order to get to my cockpit if I would like to use the ship, actually. The huge Borg ship. So this will be it for this video. Let me know if that was helpful and how is your adventure going in space. So see you in the next video.